She called me disgusting, and I stayed silent. But silence can be dangerous, because sometimes it becomes the loudest answer. I've learned that sometimes the deepest pain doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people you love most. That morning felt ordinary. Sunlight seeping through the kitchen blinds, the smell of coffee in the air, birds chirping outside. I was stirring my oatmeal, thinking about work, when I heard her voice. My wife, Lydia. She was on the phone with her sister. I wasn't eavesdropping. I was just there. But what I heard froze me. She said, "That fat man disgusts me. Sometimes I wonder how I ended up with him." First, I thought maybe I misheard. Maybe she was joking. Maybe she meant someone else. But then she laughed and continued, "He thinks jogging twice a week will fix it. Please." I can barely look at him. My hand trembled. The spoon dropped into the pot. I stood there staring at the wall as her words echoed in my head. That fat man disgusts me. That fat man was me. I didn't confront her. I didn't shout or cry. I just stayed quiet. I walked upstairs, shut the bathroom door, and looked at myself in the mirror. And for the first time in years, I really saw myself. The tired eyes, the belly that crept out from under my shirt. The man who gave up on himself trying to make everyone else happy. I'd spent years working 2 jobs to provide for her. I gave her comfort, vacations, a house she loved. I thought love was enough. But in that mirror I realized, maybe love isn't enough when you lose yourself along the way. So I smiled, pretended I didn't hear her, ate breakfast beside her like nothing happened. But deep down, something had shifted. That silence wasn't weakness. It was the beginning of something new. The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual. 5 a.m. I put on my old sneakers, grabbed a hoodie, and stepped outside. The cold air slapped my face, but it felt good. Real. Honest. At first, I could barely jog half a block without gasping for air. My knees ached. My lungs screamed. But every time I wanted to stop, her voice replayed in my head. That fat man disgusts me. And I kept running, day after day, week after week. While she slept, I was out there sweating, pushing, fighting. I changed my meals, gave up soda, stopped late-night snacking. I started lifting weights after work, using the anger she gave me as fuel. And slowly, very slowly, I started to change. My coworkers noticed first. "David, you look different," they said. "You've got this glow." Even the doctor said my blood pressure was back to normal. My clothes started to hang loose. My energy came back. But I didn't do it to impress anyone. I did it because I was tired of hating my reflection. I did it because I wanted to respect the man I saw in the mirror again. Lydia didn't notice at first. She was too busy scrolling through her phone, too distracted by social media perfection. One night, I was doing push-ups in the living room, sweat dripping down my face. She looked up and said, "Why are you sweating this late? Go to bed already." I just smiled. If only she knew. She was watching her insult become my greatest motivation. 6 months passed. I had lost 42 pounds. I was stronger, healthier, and calmer than I'd been in years. The man who once hid behind excuses now stood with confidence. That Friday afternoon, I went to a cafe downtown for a business meeting. The bell over the door chimed as I walked in. People turned, not because I looked special, but because I carried myself differently. And then I saw her, Lydia, sitting at a table with her friends, laughing, perfectly made up. She hadn't seen me yet, but when she did, her laughter died mid-sentence. Her eyes widened. She blinked, almost not recognizing me. "David?" she said softly. I smiled. "Hey!" Her friends looked between us. One of them whispered, "He looks amazing." Lydia's lips twitched, trying to form a smile. "Wow," she said awkwardly. "You've changed." "Yeah," I said. Guess I started listening to my body. There was a pause, that awkward kind of silence that stretches too long. She tried to reach out, to touch my arm, but it felt strange, foreign. And in that moment, I realized something. She hadn't lost a fat man. She'd lost a good man, one who loved her enough to forgive her cruelty in silence. I finished my coffee, wished her a nice day, and left. That night, as I stood in front of the mirror again, I didn't see pain anymore. I saw purpose. A few days later, she came out to the porch while I was watching the sunset. She carried 2 mugs of tea. Her voice was softer than I'd heard in years. "You look incredible," she said. "I mean it, David. I didn't know you could change like that." I smiled gently. "You'd be surprised what people can do when they stop listening to doubt." She looked down at her hands. "I owe you an apology for what I said. I was angry and insecure. I shouldn't have taken it out on you." I didn't speak right away. I just stared at the fading sun. "It's okay," I finally said. "You were right in a way. I did need to change. But not for you." She blinked, confused. "Then for who?" "For me," I said quietly, because I finally realized the only approval I ever needed was my own. Tears filled her eyes. "Can we start over?" I looked at her, the woman I'd once thought I couldn't live without. And I realized I no longer felt anger. I no longer felt pain. Just peace. "Sometimes, Lydia," I said, "starting over means walking separate roads, and that's okay." I placed my mug down, stood up, and walked inside. She stayed there, sitting alone, the sunset painting her face with soft gold. For the first time, she looked small. Not because she was weak, but because I had finally let go. That night, I slept better than I had in years. No nightmares, no bitterness, just peace. People think revenge means hurting the person who hurt you, but I learned something different. Real revenge is transformation. When you grow beyond their words, when you heal so deeply that their opinions no longer shake you, that's when you win. Because silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes silence is strategy. It's self-respect in its highest form. Lydia's insult didn't destroy me. It woke me up. It pushed me to rebuild myself piece by piece, quietly, patiently, until the man she despised became the man she could never have again. And in that, I found freedom. I didn't need her apology. I didn't need validation. Because the truth is, the greatest redemption comes not from proving someone wrong, but from proving yourself right. So if you're listening to this, and someone's words have ever broken you, if they've made you feel small, unwanted, or unlovable, don't argue. Don't beg for understanding. Don't let their judgment define you. Get quiet. Get focused. Transform in silence. And one day they'll see what they lost, but by then you'll be too far gone to care. Because the best revenge isn't shouting back. It's becoming everything they said you couldn't be. If you've ever been broken by someone's words, remember this. Your pain is not your ending. It's your beginning. So stay till the end, because transformation is the sweetest revenge.